If I had to sum up my dad in one word, it would be responsible. As his oldest daughter, that was the trait I most identified with in my dad. I actually looked up the definition of responsible. It means being accountable and answerable for actions and decisions. It implies reliability, trustworthiness, holding authority, and being dependable. Yeah, that was my dad in a nutshell. My dad died this past July. He was a great example of what being responsible looks like in every stage of life. From the time he was born through his early 20s, into the middle part of his life as a husband and father, and in the last part of his life as well. His early life responsibilities started with him being born. He was born the oldest son in a family, a big family. He had five brothers and one sister. He grew up in a rural spot of mid Michigan, and from the time that he could, he started working at a local dairy farm to help out with the family's expenses. After high school, he served in the U.S. Army and fought in the Vietnam War. This is something he kind of volunteered to do because he knew that if he didn't, that somebody else might have to go that didn't want to, and he took the responsibility upon himself to do it. In the middle part of his life, he was a responsible husband and dad. He provided for my mom, my sister, and I as he worked as a foreman for a road construction company in Michigan. So as we all know, that goes on all summer long. So there was, weeks where he would be working without a day off out in the hot sun, but he did that, as a way to provide for us. We always had everything we needed. He spent his winters, since the road construction kind of takes a break in the winter, he spent his winters being a assistant basketball coach at Ludington High School. And there he taught generations of basketball players in Ludington his hard work ethic, both on and off the court. When he did have time in the summer, I remember he would take all of us out on the boat with friends and family and pull us, behind the boat in some tubes and have a good time. And I remember thinking that probably was the last thing he wanted to do, is sit out in the sun, since he had been doing it every day for work. But he did it anyway because he was being responsible. He was making sure that we also were having a fun time. His example of responsibility was carried on through his final stage of life as well. When he became a grandfather, he passed on his love and knowledge of basketball and sports, as well as hunting and fishing, to his grandkids. When he was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, he made a lot of financial moves to take care of, make sure my mom was going to be all set after he was gone. The house was all taken care of. In fact, when he passed away, we found out that many things were already done, and my mom didn't have to worry about anything. My dad was not a perfect person, but he was such an amazing example of what being responsible looked like in every stage of life. The way he handled responsibility in his life is the measuring stick I use to hold myself up to as I go through my life.